Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Thomas. Today we're actually here with something different. So this one's on a channel called Japananalyst. I'm pretty sure I said it right, but if I'm wrong, let me know. But I figured I'd cover one of his videos. First up is how Japan's biggest idiot single-handedly destroyed a political party. Oh boy. That bad, huh? Let's just see how he did it. So, let me know what you guys think of Japananalyst. Let me know if I should do more. Be sure to like, subscribe for more. Let's go.
The absolute dumbest politician of all time.
Really?
Stupid decision after stupid decision, this complete donkey single-handedly destroyed an entire political party that he built. He went from a popular senator to a broke loser with a criminal record, and it was all his own fault. Surprisingly, this story starts with the NHK.
Go.
NHK is Japan's public broadcaster, essentially their version of the BBC. And while they're basically just a news station, there's a big movement of people who hate them. The biggest reason for this being their fees. Everyone who lives in Japan and owns a TV must pay the NHK's fees. Doesn't matter if you don't watch their channel, doesn't matter if you just use your TV for Netflix, you have to pay. And if you don't, NHK will send debt collectors to your house until you do. Everyone who's lived in Japan has dealt with these guys. A lot of them are nice and will back off when you say you don't own a TV. Or if you intimidate them with your Yakuza tattoos. But most of them are persistent.
Go away.
They will try anything to get you to pay. They'll come knocking every day, peeping through your windows looking for anything that resembles a TV, or try to trick you that your computer monitor or even your cell phone counts as one. In the worst cases, they've been known to trespass or even get physical with people who won't pay. But eventually, one brave man stood up to the NHK and said,
okay, what? Like, can you imagine if, like, say, the PBS or BBC just randomly keeps sending, like, debt collectors after you like that? Like, dude, you'd know there would be, like, political riots like that. Come on. You can't just do that. Even if you don't watch this show. Like, and also the fee. That's just so dumb. You're not a subscription service. Like, anyway.
Enough. His name? Tachibana Takashi, the man who hates NHK more than anyone.
Really?
Tachibana was a professional pachinko player. Yes, that's a thing. But before that, he worked at the NHK for 20 years until he was pushed out following an accounting scandal in 2005. So he had more reason to hate them than anyone. And with the rise of the internet, he took his vendetta to YouTube, where all he does is criticize the NHK and teach people how to get out of paying their fees. He's been doing that for 13 years now. But most importantly, in 2013, he started a political party called Party to Protect the People from NHK. And he had a genius advertising idea. The party handed out these NHK repellent stickers. Slap one of these on your door and bam, the debt collectors stop coming. It sounds too good to be true, but from the NHK's point of view, they know that whoever has these stickers is going to be a difficult customer in the first place. And even if they did show up, the sticker had Tachibana's personal phone number on it, and he would tell you exactly what to say to get them to go away. This was bold, and it worked. These stickers were popping up everywhere. Tachibana's strategy resonated with voters who hated the fee collectors. But this was also a wild time in Japanese politics. The first YouTuber candidate ran in 2016, and he was, well,
animated? Do I want to know?
Thousands of people had to suffer through that because Japan forces TV stations to give political candidates airtime, which is exactly why he was doing it in the first place, to send people to his YouTube channel. Although some of his speeches were so bad, NHK had to censor them. He ended up suing them, but he lost. Tachibana saw this guy, a complete loser, and thought, I'm a YouTuber too. I can do way better than that. So he decided to take a big step and get into national politics. He was going to run for the House of Councillors, basically the Japanese Senate, on a really simple platform. And you know what? It went better than expected. People liked him, or at least they didn't like the NHK. He got 1 million votes, and he actually won. This was his dream. The people elected him to fight the NHK from inside. It felt like the beginnings of a real political movement. The NHK party was extremely popular if you polled high school boys, and their slogan, "Destroy the NHK," was the most popular phrase on the internet in 2019.
Dang,
but still, it wasn't enough. If he wanted to keep growing, he would need to fight the NHK even harder. Luckily, he had the perfect plan. Step 1. Become a criminal. Tachibana had recruited a mole, an NHK fee collector that was loyal to him. But instead of playing it slow, Tachibana immediately went nuclear. He took the names and addresses of 50 random NHK customers and posted them to YouTube, with a blur over top. And he made a demand. If the head of NHK doesn't meet with me within 2 weeks, I'm gonna remove the blur. Yeah, he was literally holding random Japanese citizens' personal information hostage. And that's how the court saw it too. Both Tachibana and the mole were found guilty for this plot. Tachibana was given a 4-year suspended sentence. Well, that didn't work. Better try something else. What about
honestly, if that was my center, to be like, dude, what the hell? Jeez. Like, at this point, get him out of the office. Like, you can't just blackmail someone like that. Like, I mean, I'm surprised Santos didn't do that, and that guy basically fated his career. What the hell?
Expanding to other issues. I mean, the party didn't have a platform outside of simply hating the NHK, so maybe some new policy positions could help. After a lot of thought, this is what Tachibana came up with.
Don't. Don't say that!
That got dark really fast.
You think?
But that's not all. This was his new right-hand man.
Did he just say Jewish money?
Yeah, this was the new NHK party. But I guess it's what you can expect when a YouTuber enters politics. People called for Tachibana to resign from the Senate over his genocide comments, but instead he just deleted the video and pretended like they took him out of context.
Are you serious?
Tachibana was clearly bad at this whole politics thing. He needed a new strategy, something flashier. Unfortunately, someone else beat him to the punch.
Is that Goro again? Joker.
スマホで録画して YouTube や TikTok にアップロードしてどんどん再生回数を稼いでください。私の制作は千葉県全体をディズニーランドにする
sign language interpreter? Why you say? Okay.
A new Joker candidate was making headlines not just in Japan, but worldwide.
Damn.
Tachibana realized he had it the wrong way around. He was a YouTuber trying to fit in with the politicians, but he needed to bring YouTube to politics. Luckily, he knew the perfect guy. It was time for step 3, Tachibana's biggest mistake yet. More YouTubers. Over 11 years, Tachibana had gotten around 400,000 subscribers on YouTube. But this guy, Gashi, or as I like to call him, Gassy, had over 1 million, and he built it in less than 2 months. Gassy was basically Japanese Keemstar, but instead of internet figures, he exposed A-list celebrities' darkest secrets that he learned over the years managing a really high-end bar. And somehow, Tachibana convinced him not just to join the NHK party, but to run on their ticket for a second seat in the House of Councilors. And
I don't think
Gassy easily won. But wait, why isn't he there celebrating in person? Well, Gassy is a criminal and he's on the run from the law. He's in Dubai right now. He ran away because of massive gambling debts. That's why he sold out his friend's secrets in the first place. He's also wanted by Interpol for defamation. But this might make you wonder, how is he going to serve in the Japanese House of Councilors from Dubai? And the answer is, he didn't. He never attended even once. Of course, he was still collecting his 19 million yen salary. The Japanese public hated this. He was asked time and time again to return to Japan. And by the way, once he was elected, he became immune from prosecution, so he easily could have, but he refused. Eventually, after many warnings, Gassy was forcibly expelled from the House of Councilors. The first time that's happened since 1951. In the end, Gassy, who don't cry, which is a lie, by the way, ended up getting arrested in Dubai, forcibly returned to Japan, charged and given a 5-year suspended sentence. What was Tachibana thinking? Did he really think nobody would notice his wanted criminal YouTuber friend not showing up for work?
Blackmail people.
This scandal was so embarrassing and the public blowback so strong that after 12 years building the NHK party, Tachibana had no other choice but to step down. And of course, because he just can't stop messing up, this is step 4 by the way, he appointed some random child actor named Ayaka who joined the party 2 months earlier to be the new leader.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, and the NHK party, it was now an idol group and they were renaming it to Politician Girls 48. The very first thing Ayaka did was try to milk the party for her own benefit by hosting a really weird fundraising event where you could pay 10,000 yen to whip her or 100,000 yen to tie her up. She also tried to withdraw 900,000 yen from the party's bank account, but the bank called Tachibana to confirm, and he froze the funds.
You froze our account?
I did.
The original party's investors now felt betrayed. They contributed to help Tachibana fight against the NHK, not Ayaka's S&M Party 48. They all asked for their money back, and now the party was in debt for over 1 billion yen. Suffice to say, Tachibana had made a huge mistake. Within a month, he tried to reverse course and kick Ayaka out, but it was too late. The party was divided. Even the Jewish money guy had turned against him and was now coming to disrupt his rallies. And it wasn't just Tachibana, he was disrupting everyone's rallies to the point that he got arrested for it. But he was putting it on YouTube and making money, so maybe it was worth it. Regardless, Ayaka didn't like it, so she kicked him out of Politician Girls 48. Tachibana's fight to retake control of the party was not going well. He was resorting to tracking Ayaka down on the street. She calls the cops, he chases her for a few minutes until she goes into a building and he stands outside like an NPC. Eventually, to figure out whose party it really was, they had to go to court, and it took a long time, all the way up until March of this year to resolve. The final decision, the party belongs to Ayaka. Tachibana had now lost everything. But there was...
Sounds like Tachibana just cannot stop himself from just ruining everything. Just can't help it. He tried to reverse course, but it's too late. It's already sinking. Oh, yikes, this Tachibana guy. What an idiot.
One sliver of hope. An opportunity on the horizon. The biggest election in the country was coming up, the Tokyo election. And Tachibana had an idea. A scheme, you could say. Let me explain.
What do you got?
If there's one thing you should know about Japanese elections, it's that they are obsessed with fairness and keeping money out of politics. Candidates are not allowed to hire staff or even pay for advertising. And to make sure they're serious, anyone who wants to run has to pay a 3 million yen deposit. But in return, the government guarantees you a ton of free advertising. They give you newspaper ads, 2 6-minute broadcasts on TV, and a spot on these poster boards. Tachibana's plan was to exploit this. Here's how. The most candidates that had ever entered this election before was 22. Tachibana alone entered 24. Not only did this immediately give him a ton of media attention, he also got the free advertising. For the newspaper ads, Tachibana put the candidate small in the little right-hand corner, with the rest of the space advertising himself. And that's not all. In their TV spots, he made them say his slogan and mention him by name. But the crux of the whole plan lied in the poster boards. There are 14,000 poster boards in Tokyo, and each candidate gets 1 square on every board. But by running 24 candidates and manipulating the way the squares are selected, Tachibana personally owned this entire section of the board on all 14,000 boards. His plan? Resell entire boards to people for 10,000 yen each. Buyers could put up whatever flyers they wanted. Some customers included a YouTuber who put up this hand-drawn artwork, this guy who advertised himself as the #1 host in Japan, but he must also have some haters because someone came and ripped his posters. Even idol groups paid to put posters up. It says, "We have a 42-year-old, a mascot character, and even a gay member. Thanks, Tachibana, for the advertising opportunity." Here's the mascot, so I'll let you guys speculate who the other two are. But as you could guess, Tachibana would take money from anyone, even anti-Korean groups who put posters up right outside a Korean international school. Tachibana's math behind the poster scheme kind of made sense. Entering 24 candidates at 3 million yen each would cost Tachibana 72 million yen. But if all the posters sold, he would generate 140 million yen, doubling his investment and getting tons of free publicity. Well, unfortunately, it wasn't that simple. Tachibana missed something. A little thing, the public hated this. I mean, first off, this is not what the election boards are supposed to be for. They're supposed to even the playing field by giving each candidate the same amount of space and keeping money out of politics. This is literally the opposite of that. But second, this screwed over other legitimate candidates. Tachibana's 24 entries pushed the election to a whopping 56 candidates. But the poster boards only had 48 spaces. So some candidates literally didn't have space for their posters, and the election committee had to make a special exemption to allow them to hang on the edges. I know, a special exemption, very Japanese. Basically, this scheme made everyone hate Tachibana. He expected to pull in 140 million yen, and the actual amount he pulled in?
Let's see.
55 million. Oh, no, I accidentally added a zero. 5 million yen. Tachibana did not take this very well. He blamed the media for making people hate his scheme and therefore not buy the posters. He wanted the narrative to be that he did this out of the kindness of his heart to prove how wasteful the poster boards are and to give a voice to the voiceless. And nobody believed that. The truth is, Tachibana was kind of right. Even though the Tokyo election got a ton of coverage, his scheme did get almost none. But the reason is, the media was preoccupied with something else. You see, both the diaper guy and the Joker built legitimate careers from their crazy performances. The Joker was even elected to a city council in 2022. And as a result, this inspired tons of copycats. In the 2024 Tokyo election, there was a flood of joke candidates.
Yes!
Okay. This guy looks like a square. There was even an AI mayor who wants to make all of Tokyo's decisions with AI. Next thing you know, the city's gonna look like this.
Please don't.
So yeah, it was chaos. The only people left talking about Tachibana's dumb scheme were the people criticizing it. Tachibana's story is that of a man who spent 13 years building a political movement, only to lose his party, go bankrupt, and end up becoming the villain. And you know, for a sliver of time in 2019, he was actually super popular, because he tapped into people's legitimate hatreds of the NHK fee collectors. And he actually won that fight, by the way. Since his election, NHK has mostly stopped sending them out, and they even lowered their fees in 2023. So he needed to just take the win, but instead he spiraled out of control trying everything to stay relevant. Without the fee collectors though, he has nothing connecting him with the people. He can't channel their anger anymore. Regardless, he's still around, he's still going, he's not going to stop, so I expect to see more of him in the future as well. I heard he's going to try some other weird election scheme next year too. Which I'll be going over in part 2, along with his boxing match, his history of being a pachinko pro, and more. If you want to know more about Tachibana, this is for you.
I'll have to keep an eye on to see if that one's ever coming out yet. It's only been a month at least. Yeah, this video's only been out for a month, but I'll keep an eye out. So, let me know what you guys think of this guy. Honestly, definitely coming back for more. If I should, let me know. Adios.